have lied of love have tied Giants in 4th.
They didn't lie, Trevor.
It's not always me making the slip-ups. Woo! Anyway, a lot of talk about the comps already. To actually get the team comp graphic up on the screen, but I think you said I could talk about this for hours and hours. We're going to give you a minute.
Right, a minute. I'll start off with the Unicorns of Love. Simply, the banning out Twist of Fate is really smart if you want to go for the Ezreal. Simply because Ezreal is a pick that has to go Smite. Usually you go Cleanse into Twist of Fate, and that solves like a big issue right there. And the fact that they picked the Rise in the first rotation on the other side shows that they will lack Engage. But I also like the response from Elements by putting it mid. Rise will farm mid lane, and Ezreal will farm mid lane, both scale really well, and they have the Engage from top. So comp-wise, I think it's pretty even in this game.
Anything to add?
Well, I mean, Krebo talked about how risky the composition was from Elements in terms of, you know, lacking a wave clear. However, I do feel like it's a smart composition to run double stealth, to set up very easy flanks. You have Nautilus in the top end to guarantee an engage. Problem was, first of all, no Righteous Glory from JWoww. I think that's super weird. You're playing into an AP Ezreal. Basically, what you need to do is engage, have that Righteous Glory ready for yourself. And I agree, I quite like the comp from Elements. Even though it was risky, I liked what they were doing. I just think the shot calling for them compared to Unicorns of Love in the late game, that's where we saw the big difference, especially around these last few team fights.
Yeah, that's actually something quite impressive. If we think of late game shot calling by Unicorns, or shot calling in general has been rumored to be very well, and we've seen that example as well. But you say Elements, they got a really big advantage again, and a lot of that had to do with Dexter once again. And we saw him then after the game being quite sad. It must start to weigh on him. And what can Elements really do now?
I think it's quite hard from their position. I think, I don't know which games they have in the upcoming weeks, but I think there's an obvious flaw in the late game. I have sympathy for them because we have the same issues in Rockets, but I think you just have to go in and hope for the best because they can take wins. They have shown that.
And here's the thing, the teams around them are also very inconsistent. It's not just Elements. I mean, yeah, Unicorns got a 2-0 great. First one, I believe, of the split. Rocket, winning games, losing games. Giants doing the same. So, yes, okay, they've lost a few games now. They're still in the race for playoffs. So I feel like as a team, you go back and you take what was great, how did we play out the early game, where did it go wrong, and you just learn from that. I don't think Elements is going to be that down because they still have a pretty good chance of making playoffs.
Yeah, they're still playing the Copenhagen Wolves, Fnatic, Gambit, and SK Gaming, so shouldn't let their head down. Some chances in there for them. Finally, though, we haven't touched on the Elise jungle in the, well, alleged last game for Kiki's in there. It was almost poetic seeing Dexter. He was so sad after that game, and understandably so. And then Kiki's getting an applause from the crowd and stopping on a win. It's kind of sour for that one side, but the Elise, you loved it. Just kidding.
I mean, so I think Elise in poke compositions can work really well because of a cocoon. If you can like use it to kite back and you can like single out a target, I like it. Not the biggest fan of Runeglaive. You were talking a lot about it before and how Cinderhawk gives you some scaling to late game. There's always been a problem for Elise. You don't have an ulti. I mean, late game, you literally just stun a target and then you just dance around, and that's it. Kikis, though, once we got to late game as well, we saw some pretty good combos. Like Hillesang would knock up a target, he would then land a stun, and they would time that with the poke. I quite like that, so good coordination at least.
Yeah, definitely. I think like the itemization choice, as you just said, is very questionable. I like the Cinderhulk, but besides that, it makes sense. I think when Rek'Sai and Gragas is out of the picture, almost any jungler works, and in this composition, Elise was fine.
Yep. And Ezreal power spikes, of course. Well, we're minutes away from our game of the week between the untouched Fnatic and Origen. But before we go, let's hear from Origen's coach, Leduc, who sat down with Pulse earlier today.
Thank you very much, Sharks. I'm joined here with Leduc of Origen to talk about all of the things before he gets into a game with Fnatic and Origen. Now, Leduc, I first want to talk about Fnatic and what you think their strengths and weaknesses are as we go into this one, and if you think there are any weaknesses that you can exploit.
I think the weakness of Fnatic is mainly their overconfidence. They are 13-0, so they have every reason to be confident, but usually pride comes before the fall, and I do feel this might be one of the reasons why they will drop the game. Their strength is without a doubt game knowledge, decision making. I don't think anybody in the entire West right now has anything close to the decision making that Fnatic has. They're always able to come back, they always react with the correct moves, and I feel if you play against Fnatic, you're always learning. They're just one level above everyone.
Yeah, they definitely look super strong right now, but I kind of want to turn to your team as well, Leduc, because on social media last week you were talking about inconsistency and how your first draft last week didn't go so well. Have you fixed those issues as we come into this week?
I do admit we made a pretty grave draft error in the last game. Kind of everybody blanked. The good thing about if you make a mistake like that, it just burns in your head. Everybody makes sure to remind you that you screwed up. And I don't know, you take it, I think I take it very seriously if a draft is, after all, one of my main responsibilities. So I definitely prepared a ton for Fnatic, and I do feel we have a very good plan coming to our game.
Well, best of luck on your game before you hit the Rift, Leduc. Now we're going to shoot it over to a break before we get back to our coverage of Fnatic and Origen. We'll be back right after this.
You know when a joke becomes funny? It's when you use it for everything.
That's the Reddit approach.
Yeah. Oh, they got food here? Dank memes.
That's going to be from Froggen coming up top. The box is down. Rat-a-tat-tat. Unicorns go splat. That was a good true shot barrage and a two-man taunt. Tabs is rat-a-tat-tatting on the sides. Contaminate will find Kikis and Vardax.
We need to go on the right, guys.
Can't get on ice. Nautilus.
I can flash
I'm chasing.
I can flash them.
Trying to come.
Cocoon. Got it.
Careful with him. He turns.
Okay, nice.
Can we go down? We can win this. Get the back there. See me. Nice. Don't hunt Ezreal.
Yeah, don't hunt.
On the inhibitor turret down bottom, Tabs is looking to get through the gate. Kikis gets hooked. Mystic shot snipes